Hey friends, Megan McIntosh here. Welcome to this video. I am at my cottage and sorry I'm a bit late today, but I was making my niece and her friend dinner. My sister went back to Toronto with my other niece, so I'm on babysitting duty and making pasta and chicken and all this fun stuff. So I wanted to talk to you about consistency and why you want to create a culture of creative consistency within your business, because so many times that we want to, sorry, my camera is a little bit, keeps moving. There we go. So often the things that we do every day in our business can become monotonous, and really consistency is everything, and having the discipline to be consistent in your business, to do the same things over and over and over every day, is what is going to move you forward in your business and create real results and success. So if you're live, let me know. Say hey, drop a 1 down below if you're watching right now. Drop a 2 down below if you're watching the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from, what city, what town, what country. So I was recently reading an article all about consistency, and I'm just gonna talk to you about it. It's basically about how to prioritize consistency in your startup. And it's from starticus.net, and it's really talking about how, you know, motivation is one thing and vision is one thing, but consistency is everything. And I've seen that not only in my business, but in the business of my clients, as well as with my own coach. It's sometimes you have to do things over and over and over again that after a while might seem monotonous, but they're things that you need to do to get clients, and they're things that you need to do to continue to grow your business. And so there's certain things that you can do to help make that consistency fun and teach your team the importance of consistency, because what happens over time is once you learn what you need to do in your business, i.e. marketing, sales, visibility, getting yourself out there and putting content out there, whatever it is in your business, you need to start doing the same things over and over. So because you start looking at what are the important things that are creating money in the business, what are the important things that are bringing in clients, and doing them over and over again, right? So a lot of times what happens, especially if you're a creative, you might want to jump around and do a lot of different things because you might be getting actually bored of the consistency of the things that are actually moving the needle in your business. And I know that once you learn how easy it is to do the specific things over time, those add up and are what get you clients. But what happens is it feels like, is this it, right? Is this all there is to do, right? And it can seem like I need to do all these other things, but really it's just getting really good at the main things that you need to do on a daily basis, and the main marketing strategy that you've chosen, or the sales strategy you've chosen, and just keeping your mindset in check so that you keep doing the tasks that are actually working in your business, right? And so being able to think about creatively about consistency is really understanding the specific task that you know you're supposed to be doing, like that strategy. And then anytime that you want to make tweaks to the strategy, instead of going a whole 180 and completely changing the strategy, what I do to create more fun in my business and help my team feel like, oh, this is, I get to like really personalize the strategy or make it something different, is really once the strategy is getting going, knowing the small, minute changes that you can do to make that strategy even better, right? To make that strategy give you even more results. So let me give you a couple of examples that I've done in my business, as well as in a documentary film that I'm putting on right now. Like I'm doing research for videos that I'm going to be putting out, and I'm doing a lot of follow-up. So I'm interviewing a lot of people because I want to eventually put together content from the interviews I'm doing. This is for something outside of my coaching business. This is more for a project I'm working on about Mississauga's cultural heritage and immigration into the city I live in. And so I got a grant for that. And it's really interviewing people, and then from those interviews, figuring out what you know, what kind of content I can do. Should I do a video or should I do an article, that kind of thing. And one of the key things is getting people on interviews, getting people on calls, right? And that's something that I also do in my own business with coaching, is getting people on those coaching calls. And it can seem like I gotta try all these different ways to get people on coaching calls, but really it's just continuing to follow up. So I have an actual assistant that I work with in terms of getting people on calls with me and getting people on interviews with me. And it really is about having specific templated emails or ways that we reach out to people. And if they don't answer once, we then reach out again, right? And it seems like, wow, it seems so boring. But when you see something, you find something that works, it actually, then you just double down on it. So for instance, I was finding that one of the ways that I was getting clients and getting people on interviews was in Facebook groups, okay? So I thought, okay, this seems to be working. When you find out how did you hear about me, or what made you decide to book a call, or why did you decide to get on an interview with me, I started realizing that a lot of these people were coming from Facebook groups. They were seeing the post that I was putting in a Facebook group. And so instead of changing that strategy and saying, well, now I'm going to do Instagram, or now I'm going to do this, right, which I also do Instagram marketing, but instead of saying, well, it's not working, I actually looked to see why were people booking calls with me? Why were people getting on discovery calls with me? Why were people booking to do an interview with me? And a lot of them were saying, oh, I saw you in a Facebook group, or I saw your post in a Facebook group. And so what that made me say is, I'm going to double down and do more in Facebook groups. I'm going to find more Facebook groups to post in, and I'm going to post more frequently, right? So the main part was posting in Facebook groups, but to get creative with it, it's like, okay, let's find more Facebook groups like this. Let's find more Facebook groups that I can post in, more Facebook groups that are relevant to the ideal clients that I'm trying to reach. And let's do more posts like this. Maybe we switch around the copy a little bit. Maybe we do a different graphic. And it's so small, but those tweaks can be a little bit fun, can be a little bit creative, but you're staying with the strategy, right? So it's, and then the other aspects that you can change around with is how you respond back to them, right? You might, they might see something, they might book a call with you, and then maybe you respond back. Because what I do usually is I have a link to book a call with me, or I have a call to action in the Facebook group saying, hey, message me or comment down below, right? So there's different calls to action that you want to do to get clients. And that's what I do is when I'm posting in Facebook group, I will have a call to action so people know what to do next, but you can change up the call to action, right? So see how like I'm keeping this strategy of going into Facebook groups. I saw that it was working, so I wanted to find more Facebook groups, and I continued to do it. But instead of just like getting bored of the strategy and saying, is that all we're gonna do? Why would I move away to another strategy if that strategy is working? So I'm just going to double down on that strategy, make it more creative, think of new ways to do the strategy in terms of maybe I'll try this content, maybe I'll do this content, what's working better, and how often can I do this, how frequently can I do this, what other places can I find? So I think that this is something that not many people talk about, is the monotony in getting clients and the monotony in the follow-up and doing the consistent things over and over and finding something that works. And once you find something that works, it's really just making that strategy better and better, right? And really focusing in on it rather than thinking, I'm going to learn the latest Facebook ad strategy, or I'm going to learn the latest Twitter strategy, or I'm going to learn how to do Instagram ads, or I'm going to learn how to go on YouTube, right? You don't need to do all those things if the strategy that you're using is working and being consistent at it. So that's like huge, okay? So I'm just gonna read a couple of the articles I'm just gonna read from this article. It's the strategist.net article on how to prioritize consistency in your startup. And one of the things it says, have the right tools in place that can really help you. So for instance, like automated scheduling, like I use Acuity scheduler, right? Doing Facebook, going into Facebook groups and knowing how are people going to reach out to me, right? Are they going to be reaching out to me through Facebook? Are they going to message me? Or are they going to literally book a call through my scheduler, right? And so knowing that, and who is going to be doing that for you, right? I have assistants that actually do the posts into Facebook, but I've written the content in advance for them to post, and the creative is already prepared, prepared, right? And I also have follow-up emails and ways that they can follow up. Another thing that this article mentions is letting go of perfection. And oftentimes we like analyze things to death, and we're always like looking at, oh, how can I do this better? How can I do this better? And really it's just getting it done, getting it out there, finishing it, right? Following through and understanding what are the tasks that you need to get done on a daily basis. And so for me, it's really following up with people on a daily basis, putting my marketing content out there on a daily basis, reaching out to new people on a daily basis. Those are the main things, right? Creating the content, putting the content out there, meeting new people, and following up with people, right? And then making sure that my mindset is in check, right? Rather than worrying about all those other things that you might have to do or you might want to learn, it's really what are the things that are actually working in your business and double down on them. There's other things that they mentioned in this article about learning about time management, right, to help you be more consistent, and knowing when are you able to work better at things. So for instance, with my virtual assistant, I actually let her work when she wants, right? As long as she finishes the task within the day, it doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night my time or 8 a.m. in the morning my time. I want her to just finish the task. And so that's all it is. It's really her being able to manage her time and within the constraints of the day, right? The 24-hour period or 12-hour, 8-hour period, I guess, in the day, right? And so understanding your own energy and the way you work and when are you going to get things done, right? You know the things that you need to be getting done, right? And if you don't have your strategy yet, or you're not really sure your marketing, sales, or mindset strategy, definitely reach out to me, because that's the main things I coach on, is like getting the strategy and then implementing, executing it through consistency and knowing how to do that on a consistent basis. And so that is a key thing, right? Is really managing your time, looking at your calendar. This is one of the first things I do when I work with a coaching client. Is they say to me, I want to build my business, and then we look at their calendar. Okay, realistically, in the time that you have, how can you build your business, and what are the hours that we can do that in? Where can we put that in your life so that you actually do the income producing activities that you know need to get done? So I'm not going to read any more of the articles, because those are the main points that I wanted to cover, but it really is all about consistency is something that it's almost like a muscle you have to get better at. It's almost like disciplining yourself, and we can have all the vision and motivation that we want in the world, but unfortunately, it's not always going to take us through the hard times, or take us through the monotony, or take us through the things that we know we have to do on a daily basis, or teach our teams to do on a daily basis. And so it's really, how do I get creative and consistency in the things that are the daily activities I need to do, the strategies I need to do? How do I get creative in those strategies without switching them entirely and without being a perfectionist about it? It's really understanding the strategies that work, doubling down on them and getting consistent with them, and playing with the consistency, playing on how to be intricate with that strategy, and really understanding that consistency is seriously what builds your business. Consistency is what's going to get you results. It seems like such a it's a one word, right? It's like, okay, is that the answer? But it is one of the things, making the decision, consistency, discipline. There's a lot of things that really do come in the mindset to create your business, right? You could have all the strategy you possibly want, but if you're not being consistent with it, you will stop and start all the time, and you might want to go to another strategy, realizing that strategy is actually working that you have, and you don't need to have a billion different marketing strategies. And what I like is that if there's one or two strategies that work for me, I will just go in on them, and I will continue to use them, and I will continue to do them. And then those other strategies that I could potentially use, I'm going to save them for the future, right? And I want you to think about that, because there's no need to do every strategy or use every strategy in the book when something's working. And I find for me, there's certain strategies that work. So instead of just going in on other strategies, I just double down on them. I focus in more on them, and how do I get better at that strategy and more creative in that strategy. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye.